I see a gray hair in your beard. I see one.
Yeah, well, I have it on the sides of my hair. I'm getting older. But don't redheaded people, their hair turns white, doesn't it?
Is that right? Is that where it goes?
So are my pubes going to turn white, I wonder?
Well, did you have red pubes?
What do you think?
I'm guessing.
What do you think?
You look like
You're the doctor. What do you think?
Welcome to Dr. Drew After Dark. Please be advised that Dr. Drew After Dark may contain sexually oriented content and be unsuitable for young children. Hey everybody, welcome to Dr. After Dark. I appreciate you being here so much and sending the emails, which I've got a stack of emails to get through today at drdrew.com. Dr. Drew After Dark at gmail.com. And of course the voice messages, which you can please keep on coming. 818-253-1693. And again, I'd mentioned maybe a couple shows ago that if you have suggestions for guests or things you want me to address, just send those in those emails and I will look at these things. So speaking of guests, today it is William Montgomery. William got started on Kill Tony, now is touring with Duncan Trussell.
Oh my gosh, so nice to be here. I just have to say, I got an email from Nadav and he said it was the Dr. Oz show.
He did.
Nadav, what's going on?
Pissed? Should I be insulted? Should I be?
There was an autocorrect thing going on.
He's like, you can't play me. It's like, no, we can't.
That's your impression of me?
That's what you just did. I've never seen you do that, actually. That was a pretty good impression. That was a new move. But how does autocorrect go from DRD to DRO?
You just start the doctor and then it just autofills.
Let's just do it and see what happens.
Let's just do it because that's a little hard to believe. If I'm being honest, it's a little hard to believe.
Were you just using regular old email?
Huh?
Well,
no, because it was on my own phone. You need to do it from my phone because it knows what I, type in all the. I think we have some.
You type Dr. Oz all the time into your phone?
Yeah. Wow.
You fundraising for his Pennsylvania run to Senate or something?
I know. I saw he was running for Senate in Pennsylvania. Is he going to win? Do you think he's going to win?
He is. Listen, he is a great guy. It's really kind of astonishing to me to watch what happens to people that enter politics. This is a guy that was the chairman, the head of the Department of Cardiovascular Surgery at Columbia Presbyterian Hospital. That is the highest. And only a couple of departments have as competitive a level and he operated for years all day. The most challenging cases in the world would come to Columbia Presbyterian. And, and then he got a talk show. I wanted to do that and fine. And because he did talk show, he somehow was, but here's what, I'm sorry this is a diatribe on Oz, but I have a lot of strong feelings about this because he and I are good friends and I know how brilliant he is. I know what a great guy he is. And he and I have never actually talked about this, but I think whenever he got in trouble with his talk show is because he listened to his freaking producers. At a certain point, when you're doing a talk show, producers just go, just read the prompter, man. We got to move on. We got to go. Just read what's up there, and you think, and I've done that, and I'm sure something could come. Please don't look for it, but I'm sure there's something on HLN or somewhere that I was like, and so you're rolling through stuff, and you've got a whole army of people that rely on you. So at a certain point, you just go, okay, I'll just see if I can make sense of this later. So any event, and now they're vilifying him on his Senate run, which he'd be an outstanding senator. And by the way, I was surprised he ran as a Republican, frankly, because he's a pretty kind of moderate guy. Yeah. Anyway, so where'd you grow up?
Grew up in Memphis, Tennessee. Have you ever been there?
You look just like somebody from Memphis.
Seriously?
The red hair, the light skin. I just think Memphis when I say no, not at all.
Oh, okay.
No, not at all.
I was like, oh my gosh.
In fact, I have a friend. She's female, but she has exactly your coloration, and in fact, some of your expressions remind me of her.
Interesting.
So, what is your heritage?
I think it's Scottish people on my father's side of the family, and I don't know, French people maybe on my mom's side. My middle name is Flournoy.
Flournoy, it's an interesting name.
So having red hair in the middle name of Flournoy, a lot of shit talk growing up in elementary school.
Because
with the middle name of Flournoy and the red hair, people.
It just didn't fit.
People
Yeah,
with
well, young males, they'll find anything. They'll get to it.
They got
They're
me.
geniuses when they come to that stuff. So in your Scottish heritage, any interesting sort of, there's a lot of famous folks in the Scottish heritage. Anybody you've been told that you're related to?
Greg Norman. Is he Scottish?
I don't know.
The golfer
Oh, okay. I don't know.
who had a line of shirts and.
But I mean, like historical.
No,
figures.
but honestly, no. I have no
Okay,
idea.
okay.
I honestly don't know.
Okay, because my friend who I'm thinking of is related to David Hume, the philosopher. So
Ooh, interesting.
See if that's in your background. Wouldn't that be
I
interesting?
wonder if we're related.
Wouldn't that be
girl and I.
weird if it were through that kind of thing? Look, they're showing us the famous David Hume was a Scottish philosopher. There he is. Doesn't look like either of these people, but okay. There you go.
I do have a long lost sister, so I wonder if that's her. The lady, I wonder if that is. That'd be so strange if I found out about my sister on here today. How crazy would that be? Is that why I got sent in the DOV? Is that why I'm here right now? Is this really what's going on?
Tell me more about how we would identify her. You know what I mean? What?
How else we would? I don't know. One of her legs is a little longer than the other one.
Not her.
Okay.
No good. So not that person. So you grew up in Memphis, then and then comedy. How'd that happen?
Well, I was in the 6th grade Christmas pageant at Presbyterian Day School.
And you knew immediately you wanted to be on the stage.
Out of probably 90 kids, I was one of the 4 main actors in the Christmas pageant, and my character's name was Steve, and it was some overweight character, and I was basically the comic relief. And I specifically remember standing up there, hearing probably 200 or 300 parents and grandparents laughing. It left some weird impression on my ass. And I've been fucking chasing that dragon ever since.
It is weird.
I'm never going to reach the top. That 6th grade Christmas pageant. I think that was it.
It is weird how the intensity of childhood, when I hear these stories all the time, that just there was some moment when a comedy, when the laughter hit or when the applause hit, whether it's comedy or performing on stage, it just it gets at them. They like have to go keep doing that. Interesting. Has it been a rewarding career for you? Is it everything you thought it would be?
It's been a real nightmare a lot of the time.
I figured.
But yeah, it's been great here living in Austin. But yeah, the final year I was in LA before I moved here, I was pretty much living in my girlfriend's grandparents' house in Reseda, doing cocaine most nights of the week, drinking probably 20 beers at a time, shitting on myself a couple times. It was horrible. But yeah,
that was great.
Talking out in the backyard till 5 a.m, and then the grandfather would come in the next day and be like, "What were you doing out there?" It was just very depressing.
Talking to yourself?
No, talking on the phone.
Okay, I see. Good.
What do you think? Maybe I would talk to myself? You don't really know me at all. Yeah? Do you think I could have been talking to myself out there?
Well, if all those beers and cocaine, it happens. It happens, dude. But I think it's better talking on the phone. That's way better. So, and How to Kill Tony happen?
They just called me up. It was up at show up at the Comedy Store, and you have to do a minute of comedy, and then they talk to you for probably 10
you
minutes
were
after.
actually one of the names that came out of the hat?
I was. And the final, I'd been living in Denver, Colorado for 3 years. In my final 10 months in Denver, I'd been wearing a neck brace, and I developed some stupid character that I worked at the La Quinta Inn, and I sold Xanax bars out of one of the rooms. But basically, when they called me up there, I had my neck brace in my backpack, and I strapped it on, and I was like, okay, I'm ready for this. And then luckily it went well, and then I've been doing it. It's been like 4 years.
Wow. It's great.
I know. Yeah, it's been fun.
I'm going to come join you guys. That's my plan. I'm joining you guys. I'm
You
gonna
need to.
Yeah, I know I need to.
When
I'm
you
a
come
fan.
to Austin sometime, it's every Monday. You need to
I'm coming. I'm coming.
come.
I talked to Tony about it. I'm going to do it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Because I was telling Tony that so much of what's up there, other than pros that get up occasionally, is Dunning-Kruger. You ever heard of Dunning-Kruger phenomenon? Let's actually define Dunning-Kruger.
Let's define that. I've heard that phrase. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's essentially not being able to self-assess. You don't know when you suck.
Yes.
Dunning-Kruger is a psychological cognitive bias where people with limited knowledge or competence in a given field or social domain greatly overestimate their competence in that domain.
Well, that's weird because that's honestly kind of how I think I am to some extent.
no,
like it's
because-
been going all right, but I think I'm kind of crazy. I'm
No,
like,
you might be overestimating, but you actually have competence.
Yeah,
right. They
yeah.
have no competence.
I
and
know
they
there's a
overestimate.
lot of
It's a difference.
characters.
It's a difference.
Right. Yeah.
And then Duncan's been a friend for years. God, how did I become? I became friends by being on his podcast, I think.
Oh, really?
And I actually was on the cartoon with him. The
The Midnight Gospel.
Midnight Gospel, which was brilliant.
I know. They need to
Brilliant.
bring that back or something.
I know. I
It is.
couldn't believe they didn't. I could not believe they didn't.
Yeah.
But how's Duncan on the road? Is he?
He's good. Yeah, I've been opening up for him. I was opening up a lot for Tony from Kill Tony, obviously. It's been fun. They're both very, generally speaking, different people. So it's been interesting going on the road with two definitely distinct personalities.
Unique
yeah.
Yeah. In the best possible way.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So Duncan, if you guys don't know Duncan Trussell, I strongly urge you guys to go look him up and look at his comedy. And
Yeah,
the
he's a
Midnight
total
Gospel is a
character.
fucking genius thing. It was the Adventure Time cartoon producers and creators that did his cartoon. His cartoon is essentially sort of his podcast turned into a visual thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was lucky enough to be in the first one.
Cool.
And when you get to the later ones, it's his mom that he's interviewing. And my wife burst into tears in the middle of that one. It's a very intense one.
Ah.
She started just started like Charlie Brown tears flying out. She
What,
started
like
screaming,
happy or sad?
just started screaming, she's right. She's right.
Oh,
It's
dude.
just, have you seen the interview? It's very intense.
No.
She was dying of cancer at the time. And she was,
Oh, no.
I'm getting teary just thinking about it. It was very intense. You got to watch that. That's
So
your
it's
buddy
tears
Duncan.
Okay.
Of sort of
okay,
humanity.
I will. It
Dude,
almost
come on.
horrifies me you just said that.
If you can handle it. And Duncan is living in Nashville now? Is he in Nashville?
He's here. He moved here.
He's in Austin.
I went to his house the other day.
Shit. Why was I thinking he was in Nashville?
He was in
Austin.
Asheville, North Carolina.
Maybe that's what it was. I
Did you
got to
ever see the
him.
Biltmore there? That big house.
The famous hotel, the famous Vanderbilt house?
Yeah.
Right.
That's a big house.
Yeah. Biggest house in America, isn't there
I
something?
think it is.
Yeah.
It was in Richie Rich, that movie in the 90s with Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, it's this huge house that Vanderbilt built as sort of a winter home or something, and he never lived
think so.
there, I think. Or
He died of
barely-
appendicitis.
Did he really?
That would suck.
That would suck. My son went to Vanderbilt College, interesting.
Oh, nice.
University, yeah. So it's
That's
a
a
big
good
school in
college.
Tennessee. It's a great school. And it's funny, I could see that school, how it was coming on again. I used to speak at colleges, and I was speaking in the 90s. My kids were like in junior high school, and I kept saying, you guys, I want you to keep Vanderbilt. Think about Vanderbilt.
Cool,
And lo and
yeah.
behold, that happened. So Duncan's on the run. Now, Duncan is known for his philosophical musing, amongst other things. And he enjoys using chemical means to achieve some of his philosophical insights, so he doesn't rely on them.
Right.
So I'm wondering if on the road he's ever encouraged you to join him in any of his trips.
No, not yet. I mean, I've smoked some dope with him. I've smoked some weed with him. Do you ever smoke weed?
I would. I have. It doesn't do much for me. It really doesn't. Right?
So it doesn't make sense
so
to do it.
I mean, I would try again, but I generally, it seems like every time I've smoked weed, I'm with Jeff Ross.
That's funny.
Yeah. So the
He
last,
roasts people.
I know the last 3 times I've smoked weed, it was with Jeff Ross, and he's coming
That's
on
funny.
soon. So maybe it'll happen. And the only thing I sort of experience is I just stop moving. Like my body moves less. That's about all I notice. And I'm tired. And in college, I was on a floor with a bunch of stoners.
Yeah.
This is 1976.
Where'd you go to school?
Amherst College, Amherst, Massachusetts. And these guys were like, you just don't know how to smoke pot. People that love pot, weed, it used to be called pot,
What's
you guys are
Nadav
actually
doing?
laughing at me. You guys are actually laughing for calling it pot.
It used to be called pot. I
Well,
don't
it's
know.
called weed now.
It used to be called hemp.
No,
These
it's
goddamn reefer heads.
Yeah. Oh no. You bought it in something called a lid, and when you
really?
bought the lid, you had to first take the stems and the seeds out. Swear to God.
That's funny.
yeah.
I remember that back in Memphis in high school. We would have
Yep.
to do that.
Well, you're not old enough for that, I don't think.
I don't know. We were getting it from,
Just shitty sources. It was-
you could say that.
yeah, not the day of what we have now. But in any event, so they insisted that I smoke weed for a week, and that would get me over the hump where I really knew what I was doing. And I hated it a lot more. I was dysphoric. I couldn't do my. It really freaked me out. I couldn't do my calculus because I couldn't hold ideas in mind anymore. And I thought I broke my brain. I'm fucked.
Oh no.
And so I sort of was like, well, maybe I smoked once or two more times and had some fun couple of times. But then I was having panic attacks. I was in college. Did you ever have any? It's like
yeah. I have to be careful. Even now, I will. Yeah, I had to stop drinking and stuff. That's been about a year, but I still smoke weed. I have to be kind of careful.
Weed will trigger the panic too.
Yeah, I get a little panicky.
Isn't that weird?
I know. Why is that? I wonder. What's going on?
I have seen people get such severe panic from weed that they're like disabled. Yeah, and it's usually not it's definitely not the people that love it. They have that reaction, right?
Yeah,
if you love it, you're loving it. And so, how'd you stop alcohol? Did something happen?
It just got to the point.
Other than the grandfather yelling at you, did something else happen?
It had. So I moved to Austin, and I immediately found a cocaine dealer, and I was doing it. My girlfriend was out of town, and she said, "William, don't have anybody back at the apartment when I'm out of town." And then the first night I saw a lift was like $60, so I got 2 door guys at a place called the Creek in the Cave to take me back, and I had a big bag of cocaine, and we were up till 11 in the morning. And talked to my girlfriend, and she had recently gotten my fucking mom's phone number, and she called my mom, which at the time, I don't know, I was so kind of just beat down. I didn't even really care, but she called Sweet Francis, and I think my parents knew I had an issue with drinking. I don't know if necessarily the cocaine part, but she pretty much spilled the beans on that, and then I just felt real down, and I had already been feeling pretty depressed, and it was just bad. And then I remember the first day I decided to stop drinking, I went to some AA meeting, and it was like raining outside, and there were 5 people in this dingy little room, and I started talking and started crying and just was like, what has happened to my life? This is insane. And I just stopped.
Good.
Yeah, I just stopped.
Yeah.
I just had to. I think I was about to die. I would be sitting down or standing up, and my limbs would go numb. I just hope I didn't do permanent damage to myself. So
the fear of dying is a very common motivator. That's when people make a change. When you really are convinced you're going to die, then it's like, oop, it gets easy to change then.
And at one point, I had that thought, and I just kind of didn't care about it. But then it got to the point.
That's the dangerous part, because you could not care, and then
there was a time where I just didn't give a shit, kind of. Yeah. Just shitting in my pants out in Reseda, just fucking doing fucking blow all night long, and the grandfather. It was so depressing. So it was so sad.
For those of you that maybe haven't experienced the wilds of Reseda, our team here has, because that's used to be where the studios were. And can you imagine living in Reseda, gentlemen? Now, you guys didn't live there at the time, did you? When we were all working together?
I mean, I live like 5 minutes down south. Yeah.
Like towards the mountains, like toward the 134?
Right next to the studio. Yeah, it wasn't great.
How did you survive that?
How did I survive?
It's like living. It's like I just think about.
I'm broke. I didn't have a choice.
Well, no, but you've lived in a glorious house in Austin. I just think of asphalt and cinder blocks when I think of that part of the valley.
Yeah, it was hellish at times, but I don't know. I mean, Reseda was fine. I don't have.
Well, it depends where you go. I mean, there's residential parts of it, of course,
but yeah, the whole thing was nightmarish, and then I just stopped, and then it was weird doing comedy again, because it was like I was doing comedy for the first time, just because I got so used to drinking before I go on stage, not necessarily getting blackout drunk, but totally drinking, probably doing some key bumps. Just getting in the zone. And I had a lot of fun doing that, but then it got to be not fun, kind of. And then it was, but yeah, starting to do the comedy again. It was like I was starting over, but now it's totally for the better. But at one point, I would have never thought that.
Yeah, of course. That's
just, I would have never thought.
I get it.
That I could do it without doing those things.
That's that thinking. And you did it as a kid without it. And you got those great laughs in 6th grade.
Correct, yes, 6th grade, Presbyterian Day School. Yeah. Shout out to Miss Hutchison. Actually, rest in peace.
Oh.
Miss Hutchison is no longer with us.
But she had the insight to put you
She
on
had
stage
the
and give you the
insight.
comedic role. I'm guessing you already were sort of somebody in the classroom who was.
No, not really. It got me out of my shell a little bit. I was
Wow.
very timid
It was
up
the
before
opposite.
that point. I was very timid.
And had they unleashed a monster at that point? Like, did you start become disruptive in class and stuff?
I started making pipe bombs in my bathroom.
Wow.
No,
That's
no.
tough.
But yeah, no, I don't know. It got me out of my shell a little bit.
All right. Well, speaking of taking you out of your shell, that's what we specialize here, and we've got clips, we have voicemail. Let's do some voicemail stuff. Let's start with that.
Hey, Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
So I recently woke up with a slight pain in my right testicle. I did not go to the doctor right away. Probably should have, but I waited. It slowly got worse throughout the day. Went to the ER the next morning to get an ultrasound, and I have epididymitis.
Good times.
Luckily, I was able to get treated, get antibiotics, but I don't have an STI, so what might have caused the pain in my bally boys? Thanks, Hitler. Touch my camera through the fence. I missed you in May.
Do you know all the sort of greetings that we have here?
No, I was a little horrified by that.
So
Quite frankly.
I kind of feel like I kind of feel like we should. I'm sorry to do this to you, but the Hey Hitler greeting, it I feel like we need to revisit the video. Maybe not today, if you want to do it next show, whatever, because it comes up on every public outing I am on. And if I'm on a chat room or something as wild, or it's like a Instagram Live or something.
Yeah.
Hey Hitler, hi Hitler. It's all over the fucking place. And so half the feed is like, hey Hitler, hi Hitler, and the other half is like, what the fuck? What's going on? Why are they calling you Hitler? They hate you. What's going on? Like, okay, it's like aloha. It's just aloha in your mom's house language.
Cool. Yeah.
It's essentially just this girl that I think she was definitely psychotic. And
Yeah.
she would do a little video log every day. And we, of course, your mom's house made fun of this young lady. And she thought she was talking to Hitler through her phone. She started every little stream with, hey, Hitler, like
That's
that.
funny.
And then Touch My Camera Through the Fence is another famous person here. If we go in the studio over there at your mom's house, did you go visit the big main studio? Has he been? Did he? Go
I don't
over there?
think Nadav showed me that. He was being kind of nice,
Over
and then
here?
he stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I showed it to you.
So did you see the one with the framed pictures all over the place?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Fred Smoker is one of those pictures, and he was arguing yet again with another authority figure and told him to touch the camera through the fence, and that became another greeting. How that one became a greeting, I don't know, but there you go. So welcome to our world.
Thank you. Yes.
I actually think I do have that one ready.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
This guy's a meth
Bro,
addict.
I'm on record for a moment. What is this place, anyways? What is this place?
You don't need to film me.
Oh, I'm new to the documentary. Listen here.
I don't care. I don't want to be
This
filmed.
is America, you dumb son of a bitch, okay?
You dumb son of a bitch. I'm a private person, and I
I'm
don't want
a
to be filmed,
fucking
so fuck
American,
your
you
goddamn film.
stupid fuck.
Fuck
I can
your
ask you
fucking
anything
film.
I
Fuck your
want.
film. I can tell you no
You're
anytime
getting
I
a
want.
fucking baby raper on your face, okay,
You want a baby
cocksucker?
raper? You're the one who looks like a baby raper.
Baby raper,
Would you
Chomo.
escape from jail?
What's up there, Chomo? Listen here. What do you guys, how do you get a job?
That's another greeting, by the way.
Fuckface?
But not by talking like that.
Oh, you know what? You're fired, bud.
No,
okay?
I'm not.
You're talking to
Grit your
me.
teeth
I'm
a
a
little more,
fucking
tough guy.
American, you fuck.
Tough guy.
You're the one
Grit your
touching my
teeth.
camera through the
Grit your
fence,
teeth,
you
you
fat
There it
boy.
is. Touch my
I'm gonna
camera through the
talk to
fence.
Sheriff's Department about you, buddy, okay?
Go get him. Go get him.
So there you
Yikes.
go. The Chomos,
Oh, man.
the Touch My Family Through the Fence. People turn those into greetings. See?
That's
well,
funny.
welcome. Yeah, that's some of the stuff that becomes epic here in this world of your mom's house. So anyway, back to the man with the epididymitis. Okay, can we deal with that?
Yeah.
All right, we have to. Do you know what epididymis is?
It's so weird. I swear to God, I'm not kidding. When I was growing up at one point, I thought I had testicular cancer, and I remember going to the doctor and some dude putting this hot lube on my balls and like
Doing an
doing
ultrasound
and it was kind of weird. And I went to
Kinda
some doctor, and
on the left, upper left.
I had epididymitis, and his
Yeah.
one bit of advice was have more sex.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, well, already I don't have a girlfriend or anything at all. I don't want to be hearing, oh, just have more sex. Like I could just have more
You
sex.
figure at that point in your life, you weren't masturbating enough. Probably you had that pretty well in hand, so to speak. So there's the epididymis. It sits on top of the testicle. The one on the left is a normal one. The one on the right is sort of inflamed and has a problem. And it is a sort of sperm processing center, right? It's where the sperm kind of get ready to go up to mix with the fluids. Okay. It's like a little factory, and it's like a processing center. It's the best way I can describe it. And it gets inflamed. It gets inflamed. It gets infected. Bacteria gets in there. It is a kind of a weird place for the bacteria and the inflammation to get to. It's usually because you're irritating the urethra or the prostate also, and then it kind of keeps going into connected areas. And for some reason, it sort of settles there. And it's highly treatable. It's treatable with antibiotics, and it's nothing. But it can stick around and it can recur, and it's kind of frustrating sometimes. And usually, in my experience, people get it from having sort of too much and overvigorous sex, or getting an infection. So he was asking how could he get it without getting an infection. It's because your urethra is irritated from all the activity, so to speak. So the doctor recommending more activity to you, he should have asked first. I mean, are you withholding or anything? Because if you that irritates your prostate too, to not do enough. So it sort of goes both ways. You can have too much irritates it, too little irritates it.
Could the shampoo I was using at the time have irritated the
urethra? It actually can. And you usually would have noticed it though.
Yeah.
You usually would have been like, because a lot of guys they'll be cleaning themselves in that area and go, whoa, that stings. Yeah. And off you go.
I kept it going.
Well done, man. Look at you. How old were you?
For a couple years. Oh my gosh, I remember one time I was probably 5 years old, and I had discovered my grandfather had left a vibrator over from Florida. They had been visiting, and I discovered if I put it on my penis, it felt good. And I showed my little brother Vance and my two cousins. We're all just little boys in this room with the door shut, and Francis walks in, and we're all putting the thing on our penises.
Francis, the grandfather?
My mom.
Oh, your mom, Francis. That's
yeah,
right.
My
Francis
mom,
sounds like an old man somehow. But so all these old men figure into your life. What's that all about? The guy yelling at you for drinking in the backyard, and grandfather with the vibrator.
I don't know.
Grandpas don't know. I don't think of those as the guys manning the vibrator.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't like it was like a back massager.
Oh.
If I remember correctly,
like one of those with the big round thing.
Yeah.
That's how that generation used their vibrators. That's how they passed off a vibrator. It's a back massager.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I remember thinking, oh, this is a back massager.
Mm-hmm. That's how they sold it. All right, another voice message.
Hi, Dr. Drew. My name is Matthew. My question is related to hearing. Whenever I'm startled by a sound, I see lightning bolts coming from the direction of that sound, and I was just wondering if that was perfectly normal and perfectly healthy. Thank you.
I love how you frame it, but no, that's a little unusual. I mean, the sound would trigger, and anytime you see sort of lights coming from the side of the eye, that's something that should be evaluated by an ophthalmologist. It may be nothing. It doesn't trigger my thinking about anything serious, but it is odd, and it's not a usual sort of a symptom. I don't know. I can't. And there are things about our brain where we have crossovers. There are people that see colors and numbers and see they have all kinds of these sort of crossing.
Is that true? Do you think that stuff is true?
Yeah. Oh no, and they tend to make great mathematicians and things. And they're called synesthetic. Let's look up. Oh, I don't even know how to spell it. But I'm sorry. Synesthete is somebody that has that phenomenon, and it's a real thing. It's a real thing, and they have other qualities. And because sort of those regions of the brain that do those functions of color numbers, they're nearby. Synesthesia, a neurological condition with information meant to simulate one of your senses, stimulates several of your senses. People have synesthesia are called synesthetes. Blah 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 blah. But you see up on their letters and numbers with colors, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how they see the world.
Is that similar to like if I'm eating a sandwich and I sneeze? Like it's messing with the other
that's
sense?
exactly what I think about when I think.
Yeah, I sneeze a bunch when I eat sandwiches sometimes.
Just sandwiches though, huh?
Only turkey sandwiches.
Is it? They have to have mustard on it because that'll do that.
Mayonnaise and mustard.
Mustard will stimulate that.
Maybe it's the
the
mustard.
mustard. Does sexual activity stimulate the
Sneezing?
sneezing? Runny nose?
No, I haven't been having a lot of sex.
But I mean, were you to have?
No, I'm kidding. I kind of have been.
And?
In case you were curious.
I'm curious. What's going on? You said you had a girlfriend.
No, it doesn't stimulate.
Same girlfriend that notified Francis, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm. So yeah, she stuck around. She moved here with me.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. It's been generally positive.
Generally positive. We'll make a note of that and to send it to her. So another voice message.
Oh, wait.
Voice messages.
Hey, Dr. Drew. Ray from Florida.
Ray.
Sometimes my butt crack just itches like crazy, and I don't know why, but for some reason, man, when you scratch it, it feels so good, but then you got to itch it again. Why is it that it feels so good when we scratch, but then it just keeps coming back? Anyway, you better believe I'm coming up in May.
Okay. Coming up in May is another aloha. It's an old man that is masturbating to a FaceTime with a young man.
Ooh.
And after he finishes, he goes, I'll be seeing you. I'll be coming up in May to see you.
Oh, my gosh.
So, good times. Should we re-expose this gentleman to all our horrible stuff? No, I guess not. So for Ray, the reason when you have an itchy rash, they tell you not to scratch it because it makes it worse. It irritates it more. And same thing is true with your asshole. It will irritate it more. And so, it feels good because there's a lot of nerves in there that are, connected to your penis and everything else. So
yeah, is that why it feels good? I hear people say that it feels good. Is that why there's connected nerves?
There's connected nerves, and it's why people like anal sex and things like that. And some people are more sort of wired up that way than others. Some are not. Some find it unpleasant, uncomfortable, things like that. And but the scratching is irritating. And if you have a lot of anal itch, that needs to be explained. Pruritus ani, that is called. And
anal itch?
Pruritus ani.
Pruritus ani.
And that can be use that in your stand-up. And it could be whipworms, and it can be all kinds of things.
What's whipworms? What are whipworms?
Go ahead, gentlemen. Let's see whipworms.
I actually haven't wiped my butt with toilet paper in like 3 years.
Human whipworm. There we go. Intestinal parasite, 1/4 inch, live in the intestinal tract of the dogs. And dogs. That's in dogs. You're going to show us one. Yeah.
So it's literally a little worm.
I was not thinking, I was thinking of pinworms. I beg your pardon. Pinworms. A little bit different.
Do those help you lose weight?
No, that's a
tapeworm.
Tapeworm. That's the myth about. There's the pinworm. See them all hanging around in there.
Ugh.
Yeah, you don't realize, and they come out at night. See why there's a flashlight?
Yeah, the flashlight.
Yeah, that's actually what they used to. I like the cartoon with the worm saying hi.
Hi.
Your children are disgusting. It's the New York Times because kids tend to get pinworms. And they used to literally instruct us back in medical school that one of the ways to diagnose them was to put Scotch tape, 2-sided tape, around the kid's asshole.
I remember my mom used to say that.
Francis, she's rangy, that Francis.
I know. We weren't allowed to go bowling because there was fecal matter in the bowling holes. In the bowling ball holes.
And that would give you pinworms, and they'd put tape around your ass?
I don't know. We weren't allowed to do that. We weren't allowed to slip and slide.
Because
they were dangerous.
Oh, that's true.
Do you think they are?
Yeah, because kids get hurt in those all the time. But mostly because they would, we just lay them on anything, and there'd be rocks under there, and we'd land on the rocks. That was sort of our move. Yeah. How did you get involved in all these things that were sort of 70s era stuff? You're too young to have been exposed to all that.
I don't know, Francis.
Francis.
Yeah, it's a Francis.
It's all roads lead to Francis and grandfathers. Got it. And did Francis work? Was she a professional or anything? Or
growing up, she stayed at home, and then she does stuff now. She works at like a clothing place and used to represent portrait artists.
Oh, interesting.
So they're portraits.
And she, your dad, together still, or
they're still together? Francis and Larry.
But Larry didn't figure so prominently into your childhood as Francis and her dad.
No,
with his back massager.
It was Larry's father's back.
Okay.
Trace Montgomery, rest in peace.
Okay, so
he's no longer with us either. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Larry's a big influence.
Okay, good. That's important. Let's fold in some emails here. Today I was watching TV show The Boys. Someone gets stabbed in the leg and cut their femoral artery. Could you teach us how to apply a tourniquet to an arm or a leg properly? How far from the wound does the tourniquet have to be? How tight? And what's the survival rate if properly done? Blah, blah, blah. You'd be surprised how many mommies and jeans you'll be saving. Really? Okay. So tourniquets have to be applied for an arterial wound, or like an either arterial wound or an avulsion, like or somebody loses a limb. Really, probably more tightly than you think. Put arterial tourniquet. You have to put arterial tourniquet in. It's not just tourniquet, but arterial tourniquet.
So what? That would be like your arm or leg getting cut off or something.
And right. And let's see what they say in there. Blah, blah, blah. It's essentially anything proximal to the artery, right? So more towards the body will do just fine. But see that thing up there? That is sort of a makeshift tourniquet. And what's interesting about that, and tells you how much tighter it has to be than you think. So what we're looking at is essentially somebody tore some clothing apart and got a cloth, and then put a knot around a stick, and then you twist that stick until you can't twist it anymore. That's how tight the tourniquet has to be. It's not just you take something and pull some cloth out and just tie it like you're cinching a belt or something. You have to put a stick in it and twist it so you get that full benefit of occlusion. And even then, you can only apply a tourniquet for so long before you damage all the tissue downstream, but you got to stop the bleeding.
Think you would be able to do it? Like if Nadav came after me later and he cut my arm off, would you be able to apply one to me?
With his sword?
Does he actually have one?
I'm sure he does. Doesn't he seem like a sword
guy? He probably
guy?
does.
What the fuck does that mean?
I just figured
I look like a
probably have a
sword
sword.
guy?
Well, you collected business cards, so I'm guessing that there's some version
Can't
of that.
have one without the other, right?
I'm guessing there's some version of that in adulthood, and you're no swords or anything, or what are you collecting now?
No swords, no weapons.
What do you collect? He didn't say no collecting.
I have a sword.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think I saw it. I think it's over. I saw it at your house. I think
you did.
Maybe I may have confusing you guys, but I know. But now, see, a different thing though. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I imagine you like knives too, not just swords. I'm just guessing.
Like knives?
I mean, you like collect a little bit of them, fascinating with them. It's not just swords. Swords and knives go together. Look, my friend.
It's the most, basically, the more damaging the weapon is, I'm probably going to have it. I have a fucking flamethrower at my house. Like,
of course you do.
Yeah,
of course you do.
Yeah.
So
I have that and a katana, you know what I'm saying?
A what?
Katana, that's a sword.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll be surprised to know who is a friend of mine that has a similar collection, Annie.
Yeah.
It does not in any way remind me of you, or you or of him, but he is Joel McHale. Joel McHale, his office at was it E when he was doing I think I used to visit his office once, which was filled with knives and swords and all kinds of stuff.
That's funny.
Isn't that funny? He doesn't seem like that guy, but there you go. So no swords, huh? Nadav? Nothing like that?
No, I'm pretty.
And how about collecting?
I collect art.
Art?
Is that weird?
What kind of art?
Mostly it's like some artists that I found just along the way, where like someone turns me on to them, and I'm like, oh, this is rad.
What I find odd about, so we have I don't know if you noticed out in the hall here, we have like 3 really cool Basquiat prints out there, and I brought it up like half dozen times to Nadav, and each time he's like, huh, like.
And now you're trying to fucking make us believe that you are an art
Exactly.
collector, Nadav.
Thank you.
You don't even recognize the Basquiat out there.
Thank you, William. Thank you.
Gosh.
That's what I'm talking about. Right? So isn't it sort of suspect? He's collecting those, that guy that paints sceneries in like 30 minutes? He's just
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross.
Rest in peace.
Yeah,
That's another
right.
one.
He probably corrects the Bob Ross paintings. I bet that's it, right?
I've looked him up on eBay. It's hard to tell if it's an original or not because all those paintings kind of look real similar. So you have to be careful if you're ever looking on eBay for it.
It's funny you bring up eBay right now because now you're triggering another thought I've had, which is, I swear to God, I'm so sick and tired of all the fucking panic porn on the news these days.
Yeah.
And I sat through another thing this morning on the news where they were talking about another Pacheco virus. And I thought, I'm going to go on eBay. I'm going to buy a textbook of tropical disease and infectious disease. I'm going to fucking sit those 2 things down here. I'm going to go, page 1. Let's start worrying about all the shit that can happen to you. The textbooks, if I stack them on top of each other, just 2, infectious disease, tropical disease, it would be this tall.
Yeah.
That's the shit can happen to you. You shouldn't be thinking about it. That's us.
Yeah, stop
we worry
thinking
about
about that kind of stuff.
We worry about that.
That's what I worry about.
That's what I'm talking about.
Seriously, people, yeah. I hear you.
Why don't we tour together? I want you to come with me wherever I go. I'll say something, you just scream out some version of what I just said. I had a Meckel's diverticulum when I was 8. Something you ever heard of?
I've heard of diverticulitis, but is that a
different? I have diverticulitis. Meckel's is a small bowel. You have a small bowel diverticulum, which just means a sac off the side of the wall. Trussell Meckel's, and they bleed. My surgeon was 80 years old. They could not figure out what was wrong with me. They cut me open. I have a large keloid. My recovery was traumatic. At 8, I had a tube that went down my nose, right? That's the way they do it. Especially back then. Wasn't allowed to get out of bed for 3 weeks. Around the time I had a catheter. Since having the surgery and the catheter, I have had bladder infections. Good boy. This has been going on since immediately after the surgery. Anything I can do to stop pissing my pants every time I sneeze and bear down. I'm scared that whenever I had a child, it's a female. I'm scared that whenever I have a child, the pee and bladder infection will get worse. Kegels have not helped. Okay, Kegels would be the one thing. There are medications to tighten the muscles down there. You're not going to show me Meckel's diverticulum? M-E-C-K-E-L. This is something you got to see a urologist about. They actually can do things like even inject some silicone into the urethra area and kind of get things back. Makes me wonder if they injured something. There could be a stricture or something. So you need a full urological evaluation. So there's a Meckel's right there. See, that's in a small bowel. And they do need to, if they bleed, and they need to come out because you can't control the bleeding.
Who was that? The guy who invented it? Meckel?
Yes. Usually, yeah. Not Schmeckel, but Meckel. And most of the sort of terminology we use is like some surgeon from the turn of the century, late 19th century, that kind of thing. Okay, let's do a couple of videos in here before I go back to emails. Let's. Where shall we start? What do you guys feel?
You know what? I think you guys would enjoy this this Garth interview.
All right. Do you know Garth has been weirding us out for a while?
Has he?
Yeah. He's when you really sit and watch his videos, it gets uncomfortable fast.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So this is the video where I think it got us first thinking. Well, I mean, I think we've been thinking it for a while, but that there might be some spectrum stuff going on with Garth, just with the emotional.
I think
stuff.
That's been kind. That's really been kind.
So yeah, let's just see how you weigh in on this.
Everyone I talk to who is excited to go back to another Garth Brooks concert is like, you blew them out of the water. It's a special experience. How do you explain, what is that? What is that special experience that people are getting?
I wish I knew, because I don't feel like it's anything crazy. I just feel like there's a connection. That's nice. Because when I go, try to remember, before you ever step on stage, you're a fan. And so we still go to concerts. Me and Miss Sherwood just went to Bruno. We went to Urban, JT. And in those moments when you're in that crowd, all you want is that artist to look at you for 3 seconds. And you can go, hey, man, thanks for your music. It's been cool. And as an entertainer, it's the same thing.
It's so weird, right? He always looks so uncomfortable. And so it gets spooky. He's so uncomfortable. Have we ever seen sort of any kind of video with him, which is, sort of where he doesn't know the camera's running? I mean, I wonder if it's fear of the camera or something. No, have we ever seen anything like that?
I don't know if we have any candid stuff.
Yeah, it's so weird, and it weirds you out when you watch it. It makes you feel creepy, like he's hiding something.
What, do you and Garth Brooks have some sort of beef? Is that why this is happening right now? What's going on? Do you have a beef or something?
This is something to ask of Tom Segura. Tom Segura is the one that is on it, right? I mean, Nadav, help me with this.
Right, yeah. It's there's an ongoing theory that, there's just a case of missing persons wherever Garth travels. Bodies disappear, and we just want to know where the bodies are.
That's what when you see some of these interviews, that's what it feels like. And Tom has made an issue of it, let's just say. So,
oh my gosh.
There you go.
Do you think he's actually killing people?
I do not, but Tom would still hold.
I don't think we can rule it out.
Yeah, Tom would say, I want to see some evidence that that's not the case. It's hard to disprove a negative, or to prove a negative. You know what I'm saying? That there aren't bodies allowed.
Yeah.
So he's concerned.
Garth Brooks, and I always hated his music.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't stand it.
I mean, you're from Memphis. Is there music? Do you like country music?
No, not really. I mean, I enjoy some like 70s, 80s country music. I'm trying to
Alabama.
No, not Alabama. I'm trying to think of when I would be drinking a bunch of beer, doing cocaine. There was always a good.
Was it Graham Parker? Is that the guy way back then?
Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson.
Somebody. Okay. Yeah, I enjoy it. I listen to the old country music.
And why don't you like our buddy Garth?
I don't know. I mean, I think it comes a lot of the stuff he stands for. I'm totally against.
Oh, what does he stand for? This may be some information.
He's
here.
a big SeaWorld guy. I think.
He likes he loves
SeaWorld. I think that's a major character.
So he's interested in like the rounding up and holding fish in tanks and whales,
wholesale murder of aquatic animals. He's big into zoos.
Is he?
I like zoos. I mean, I went a lot growing up, but I know he's big into zoos. And I think
this may be what Tom's sensing.
Yeah, I mean, he has some weird thing against animals. Not a lot of people know that, but he really, I don't know why they're laughing. I mean, it's not a lot of this is known, but it is known he loves SeaWorld. It is known he loves zoos.
Refer that to Mr. Segura, please. He needs that information.
Yeah, he might need to know that.
This might be a sort of an investigative lane he could go down. Maybe that's where the bodies are buried. Maybe it's sort of
you feed them to animals.
Yeah,
you could do all kinds of
hippo
stuff.
container. The hippo.
Gosh, have you ever seen those videos of hippos eating the watermelons?
Yes.
It's like they're effortlessly eating a watermelon. Watermelons are hard.
Do you know they kill more humans than any other animal in Africa?
Yes.
They just chop people in half.
I know they have the 4 big teeth.
Yeah.
It seems like that would be a horrible way to go.
Yes, it would not be good.
And
They look so cute though.
I know they look so sweet.
And the little ones, the babies are sweet.
I know.
How do they know when to stop hanging? I've seen pictures of, humans with the babies in the tanks and stuff. How do they know when it's not okay to be around that baby anymore? When they chop their hand off? And
yeah, maybe when it eats its hand. I have no idea. You'd have to be careful.
All right, Dr. Drew, what would happen if you were to inject stem cells into your dick? Would it grow bigger? Would it cure erectile dysfunction? No. But I have heard of people using stem cells to try to correct Peyronie's, which isn't. Look, stem cells are just anti-inflammatory. That's it.
That's what a stem cell is?
That's what a stem cell is. What it is, a stem cell, and there's different kinds of stem cells. But its property that people are responding to is they're anti-inflammatory. They're just strongly anti-inflammatory. That's it. I'm a cynic when it comes to people with medical issues. I feel abused. What? FMLA? Was that fuck my life?
What does the A stand for? I don't know.
That's what I don't know. FMLA?
I don't know.
Maybe
is abused and overused. I've also wondered if the validity of fibromyalgia diagnosis and similar issues. Thanks for the great, blah, blah, blah. Touch my camera through the fence. Fibromyalgia, you got to understand something. There's a difference between a diagnosis and a syndrome, right? Syndromes are a constellation of symptoms that don't have a common cause. In other words, there are probably many causes that produce this same common symptom. A diagnosis has a common biology, a common cause, a common genetic, a common natural history, common everything. It all kind of fits under one umbrella. Fibromyalgia is a syndrome. Now, I will tell you, syndromes usually have something that they share. Whatever the source of the syndrome is, there's something shared, and that shared phenomenon is disturbed sleep. People with really disturbed sleep. When you were drinking, did you wake up achy and kind of, when you do cocaine till 5 a.m, wouldn't sleep for days at a time? Wouldn't you start aching? Do you ever have that?
Yeah.
That's fibromyalgia.
So I had fibromyalgia.
Correct. And then maybe the drinking had something to do with it too. Let's see. Other voice messages. What do you got?
Hey, Dr. Gene. This is Tim from Oregon. And I just noticed that my balls, especially the hair around the balls, they have turned gray. I'm a 25-year-old male, and they have always been black as normal. And recently they are completely gray, and I'm just wondering, do I have cancer? Am I going to die? Am I normal? Anyways, I actually just purchased my ticket. I'm coming up in May.
Yeah.
See you then.
Nice.
Bye.
I'm not aware of gray pubes meaning much of anything.
Yeah, it sounded like a crazy person wanting to hear themselves speak.
No, he's actually nervous about his gray pubes, I think.
Okay,
Believe it or not.
okay.
Believe it or not, you'd be surprised when people ask doctors about it.
So you think he really thought maybe he had cancer because
that's where people's heads go oftentimes. Like, I'm dying.
I think
men particularly, and men, if I'm not dying, I don't want to hear anything more. That's it. I'm done. Okay, if I'm not dying, fine. It's odd. The only thing that's odd is the pubes usually go gray after the head. Sort of a later phenomenon. So that's kind of weird. And it makes me wonder why that would be happening to him, but there's nothing that comes to mind in particular. It's not a great sign, right? Any gray pubes yourself? I see a gray hair in your beard. I see one.
Yeah, well, I have it on the sides of my hair. I'm getting older. But don't redheaded people, their hair turns white, doesn't it?
Is that right? Is that where it goes?
So are my pubes going to turn white, I wonder?
Well, did you have red pubes?
What do you think?
I'm guessing.
What do you think?
You look like
You're the doctor. What do you think?
You look full red, man.
Yeah, I've red pubes.
So nice. It's exotic. Very nice. I occasionally get brain zaps. I feel like a specific part of my brain zaps through the whole thing. I wish I could find the exact verbiage so you understand what happens. But the best way to explain it, I feel like electricity zapping, blah, blah. This happens my whole life. I'm overall healthy, no brain injury concern. That's kind of a nothing. However, people who experience brain zaps where it's kind of an issue are from withdrawals from antidepressant medicine. Very common. They feel this kind of zapping, funny feeling. It's very uncomfortable. Obviously, because people can feel it from serotonin reuptake inhibitor withdrawal, you can also some people might have it normally. And so it doesn't mean anything. It's just very uncomfortable for people. So let's hear another voice message.
Hey, Dr. Drew. My name's Chris. I'm from Seattle. I'll keep this short and sweet. Why is it that every time I make white, I have to pee right afterwards? It's every time, and I don't know why. So if you can give me some insight on that, that'd be great. I'll be coming up in May. Piss on me, beat me, touch my camera through the fence. Bye.
Mr. Montgomery, any ideas?
Is that the scientific term, making white? What the...
That is your mom's house. There's a whole language I have to sort of bring you up to here. There's greetings, there's preoccupations. So a lot of white, yellow, and brown talk here.
Okay.
This is the white and the yellow talk. These are the two together. We did some brown talk earlier, but not much.
We did a little.
Yeah.
I know. I would try to tell you that I haven't wiped my butt in 3 years.
You did say that.
You didn't say anything about it.
I assumed that was a hyperbole, as they say.
No, it used to take me forever to wipe my butt.
Do you have a bidet or something now?
I just get in the shower.
Every time?
Every time.
This warrants
Is that crazy? My girlfriend says I'm crazy. My girlfriend gets pissed off because she says there's shit in the shower, but she never finds any because I'm very careful about it. And it's not like there's a ton of shit that gets in the shower, but she says I'm crazy. My parents say I'm crazy.
Well, there's sort of
it's so easy.
There's kind of a ninja quality to this because you're not shitting anywhere except your own bathroom.
Correct.
That's
I
ninja.
try to just do it in my own bathroom.
That's any level stuff, man. Just being able to control it so you just do it where you want to.
I'm also at my apartment a lot, so it doesn't make it.
Well, when you were shitting on yourself, is that what developed this habit, or
no? It's been 3 or 4 years. It used to take me literally 20 minutes to wipe my butt. Sometimes I would have to take a break in between wiping, and I would just be so mad. Just thinking, why? Literally, I'm not even kidding. Why is this taking so long? And then finally, one day, I just jumped in the shower and I put my hands in my butt a little. And
do you do any preliminary wiping before you get to the shower, just so there's sort of whatever?
Now I have to a little to appease my girlfriend.
Good, that's good. Was it? Were you producing a lot of material when you used to jump in without the wipe?
Yeah, I would see shit in the bathtub.
This is courageous.
But I would clean it. But then she gets all mad, saying, "Oh, well, it has to be dirty." But I think, well, if soap and shampoo is down there, it's probably cleaning it.
It occurs to me that Francis's preoccupation with shit in the bowling ball finger holes. That's kind of an extraordinary level of thinking about shit. Did she impress upon you a lot of shit brown talk when you were a kid?
She could be. I've never necessarily thought about that. But yeah, it's weird I even brought up the bowling ball thing.
But was she really on you about wiping your ass when you were a kid? Or if you got some brown in your underwear, would she fucking go nuts?
No, not really. the only memory I have of something like that growing up is I put a bunch of toilet paper in the toilet one time and flushed it, and it clogged up, and all the water was running all down the sides.
A lot of boys do that, but it does suggest already you were like worried about getting that area clean.
I know. I wonder why that is. I wonder why that is. I don't know.
I'm wondering the same thing.
Okay, well, maybe we can figure it out or something. I don't know.
What would that be? Well, it's odd to me that as I sit and listen to you, I immediately think of your mom and the bowling ball shitholes.
Yeah.
Somehow that's got to be connected to this.
It could be. I've never thought about it, but I need to, I don't know. Should I call her up later? Should I talk to
I'm just thinking whether or not that, all the paper in the toilet, whether she was like early on you about keeping that area.
She probably was, and now I get in the shower.
Now you go around the whole experience and just go right for the water.
Yeah. I don't
What
even
about a
have to worry
bidet?
about
How about like making it a little simpler? Those are designed for that.
I need to. Somebody actually gave me a bidet like 5 months ago, and it's still in the trunk of my car. I need to set it up.
I think from 90 Day Fiance, which Tom Segura got me involved with, and I'll never forgive him.
Yeah, that's a funny show. I watched it, son.
I feel like some cultures will not wipe their ass and go straight for bidet. That somehow that's dirty and you don't go back there. And it makes kind of medical sense because there's a lot of oral fecal stuff that's transmitted in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So you're sort of you're a man of international mystery, is what I'm saying. Yeah,
Cool. I'm glad we could establish that today.
I'll talk your girlfriend down if you need to.
Thank you.
Let's see another video. I see lots of things. Is there any TikToks by any chance?
Yeah, we could run through.
Yeah, let's run through some TikToks. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Uh-oh. What's going on here?
What is she? Oh. Just a little fart porn for TikTok?
Yep, just some fun fart stuff.
I like the whole scene there. But go back a little bit. Just before she lays down, we can sort of see the back of the room a little better. The American flag.
Nice wood paneling.
She looks like she should be like either working in a library or like a receptionist at a school or something. And this is the lady that brings us the fart porn. Do you have any feelings about that, given your brown?
I mean, I think farts can be funny. I actually went with my girlfriend yesterday to eat at Cracker Barrel. There's a Cracker Barrel down the street, and I was in the gift shop, and I farted, and it smelled real bad. And then I told my girlfriend to come here, and she started kind of laughing, and I started kind of laughing, and then I was trying to walk around, but it was following us, and then I'm horrified a little because other people are in there. And
it's one thing when your girlfriend. It's one thing when your girlfriend laughs at the sound of your fart. If she laughs at the smell, that's a keeper.
Okay,
that's a keeper.
Good to know. I know. It's sweet.
Yeah, that's a keeper.
Sweet.
All right, another TikTok.
Slide into my man's inbox, bitch, and I'm gonna slide into God's and let him know you're on your way, sis.
A poet here.
Oh, yeah.
All right, fine. Murder on TikTok. All right, what else you got?
Check it out for all you motherfucking haters. It's all good, bro. Keep hating. It's all good. I ain't tripping. Fuck it. Keep hating.
Okay, bro. Oh shit.
That's why Dr. Oz isn't going to win his Senate race. What has happened to him? Why did he grow that beard like that?
It looks like him. You think that looks like Oz?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I don't think it does.
All right. Give me another one. Ugh, look at those toes. That's called. Oh shit.
Gosh.
Is there a whole line of people shitting and farting and while the video is of their foot on TikTok? I feel like you've shown me a few of those.
I feel like we've seen a lot of those. And actually, I'm noticing something really crazy with this.
You know what's I
Look
feel
at this toe ring. It looks like there's bruising around it?
Maybe it's just black from the metal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like it's oxidizing.
It's oxidizing, yeah. And what I feel good about myself, given how much fucked up shit these guys present to me from TikTok, I feel really good that none of that shows up on my TikTok thread ever.
Yeah.
None of this stuff.
Yeah, TikTok is crazy. My girlfriend has it. We've been following this one guy who has an eel pit.
Oh, wow. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was some thing. He bought a house and had this giant water reservoir under, and he got eels and crawdads, and he fixed it up. Wait,
what?
A literal eel pit.
He has like something like Dr. Evil has, like
yeah.
Instead of you pull it back, and instead of sharks, there's eels and crawfish.
Yeah, you have to climb down this little ladder he made
in his house.
Yeah,
like under his house.
Under his house.
Oh, that's odd. That's
I wish I knew his name. I don't. But yeah, I watched that. Yeah, TikTok is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Totally insane.
Yeah.
My girlfriend literally is on it on her phone a decent amount of the time, and I feel like I'm going nuts sometimes.
It is what I don't like is you start and you have trouble stopping.
Oh my gosh, it's just a bunch of little videos.
It's very uncomfortable. And you realize that, 90 minutes have passed, I'm an asshole.
Ooh, yeah.
Really, it's bad. I interviewed our gag couple.
Right, yeah, you told me.
Yeah, and they were beyond lovely.
Who were they?
It's just a couple they showed me where this guy just makes this sound like bleh, and it makes his wife go into like nearly vomiting, like spasms, and it's hysterical. Right? Thank you. And I shared with him that the reason I liked it so much was his delight in making his wife, torturing her. There she is. Get her on the doorstep over there. That's fine. Oh no. Yeah. There we go. There
Hello,
she is.
my love. Good afternoon. How are you? Oh, you look nice. You ready to go to dinner? I know. You ready to go to dinner?
You're gonna make me not ready.
That's okay. We'll get a little time in between. In between some. Come on.
Wait, honey. That was bad.
What? I made you laugh instead of gagging. Yeah, there it is.
I can do it.
You can do it. Can you hold it?
Yuck.
Isn't that funny? It's good, right? Torturing women. It tickles that part of your male soul that like pulling pigtails when you were 7 or something. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's his glee. I find it fascinating. All right, what is an eye exorcism, gentlemen? I need to know that. An eye exorcism.
Yeah.
I've been looking at that the entire show going, what the hell are you guys going to show me?
So this is actually an update from the eye exorcism guy. I think we've
that
showed this-
guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Here, because I think...
Do we need to show both?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll show you both.
Here you
and then
go.
We'll wrap it up.
All right. That was a long time ago. It's like a
All
year
right,
ago.
folks, make eye contact with me right now. I'm going to expose your demons, okay? I'm going to command them to surface, okay? Now, pay close attention to what I'm going to say here after I expose your demons, because you need to get help if these demons are inside you. Evil spirits, I am command you now to manifest. Come up to the surface. Come up to the surface. Get out from your hiding place right now. Get out from your hiding place right now. In Jesus' mighty name, come up, evil spirits. Demons, you cannot hide inside this person.
Okay, we get it. But hang on a second. So hold that picture. As weird as it is, as he's being, I had multiple thoughts during watching this. One was, it is interesting how the human gaze has such an impact on us. But all I can keep thinking about is how he has tried to shave the unibrow he has, and it's coming back. That's a losing battle there. And if you notice the broken blood vessels on his nose, that's kind of what's called rosacea. So he has rosacea, and then I keep looking at that mole under his right eye, our left. You see it out there? He's got this huge freaking mole. That's all I was thinking about the whole time. So anyway, good. Well, now what's the update?
All right, so here's the update.
So what I want to say here
That's
is
him?
this, okay?
Yes.
Crazy. He has to cover his eyes.
Open mouth French kiss is oral sex.
Okay.
And everyone loses their virginity when
There's that
they
mole.
kiss for the
Yeah.
first time. So I didn't know that. I didn't know that until maybe a month ago, right? But I pray and I read the word and I get revelation. Okay, if you really want to have a blessed marriage, a blessed family and life, do things God's way. Don't do things Hollywood way. Don't do things YouTube way. Don't do things CNN way. Don't do things, don't do things Hollywood's way, because it's going to mess with you. Do things God's way. How about that?
All right, he bores me. This guy bores me.
Do you think that really could work if you did have an evil spirit in you? Could you really watch that video of his eyes and it would bring it out?
He'd think so.
Do you think that can happen to people? Like an exorcism really happening?
No.
What do you think it is? People with just mental illness?
Yes.
Think it's ever the devil?
No.
Okay, I'm just wondering.
Sorry.
Well, don't say sorry. You don't know. I mean, you're assuming that I think it's the devil. I don't know. I'm asking.
Because I've seen a lot of weird shit in the psychiatric hospital where I could understand why people would think there was a devil inside them. But a little bit of, medication, the devil goes away, strangely enough. So there we go. So anyway, where are the plugs? Where do you want people to find you? Where should they go? Look for you on Duncan Trussell. Look for you on Kill Tony.
Yeah. Just William.f.Montgomery1 on Instagram. That's a mouthful, isn't it?
It is.
I have the periods and I have to have the number because somebody else had William.f.Montgomery.
And you're William F.
William.f.
Montgomery 1?
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
I wasn't the first one. Some piece of shit got it before me.
Damn them.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
I appreciate you being here. I look forward to being on Kill Tony with you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing all the Francis and grandparent material. It was very interesting.
For sure. Well, very nice to be here. Thank you.
I hope you find a way to recreate that 6th grade experience every night you're out on the road.
Thank you.
We'll see you all next time. All conversations and information exchanged during participation in the Dr. Drew After Dark podcast or interaction on the drdrew.com website is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Do not confuse this with treatment or physician medical advice or direction per se. You must always follow your medical professional's advice and direction. Nothing on these podcasts or posted on this site supplements or supersedes the relationship and direction of your medical caretakers. Please understand, I am not playing the role of physician in this environment per se. I'm educating. I am a licensed physician with specialty boards in American Board of Internal Medicine and American Board of Addiction Medicine.